Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. I'm Lisa with Down to Earth Gardening and Design, and we have to talk about how glorious the hydrangeas are here in New England this year. It has been some perfect conditions for these beauties. Everyone's talking about them, so I wanted to do a video on why are they so stunning this year. Last year I did a video, I had my thumbs down in this very garden here because there were very few blooms, and normally I have quite a few, not this many. So what are the reasons? Let's talk about that today, and I also want to give you a little mini tour because they are so glorious. I just have to share them with you. Okay, so I just want to be sure to say that today we're talking about mophead or big leaf hydrangeas. So also macrophylla, some people say macrophylla, but they are the mopheads. And they are typically blue. You will sometimes see shades of pink and purple, which I'm going to show you some gorgeous purples today, depending on how you adjust the pH. And I do have a video out on that as well. So let's start here with my endless summers. They are gorgeous. They are covered in blooms. And I'm going to give you the 4 reasons why they're so spectacular this year. And then last but not least, before I give you the little tour of these beauties this year, I do want to give you a little bit of a hot tip or something to think about with hydrangeas. So stay tuned for that. So number 1 reason, and I'm not giving these in order because probably the 4th one I'm going to list may be the most important today. But number 1 is we have had a very ample amount of precipitation this year. So some really good rainfall this year, this spring, and hydrangeas love plenty of water and consistent watering. You may have heard me say that in some other videos as well. So in fact, you will see when they need water, they'll start to look a little droopy. So they're telling you that they need water. And in fact, that's why there's the name Hydra in hydrangea, is because they do really require some consistent and good watering. And we've had a lot of rainfall this spring, so it's been really great for these guys here. So number 2 is I want to talk about pruning. So pruning can be a little bit of a challenge when it comes to hydrangeas, especially if you inherited one and you're not sure of the variety. So endless summers are really great because they flower on old and new wood. I have another type of hydrangea here in my yard and at my daughter Hannah's house where I frequently will film videos. That's called Bloomstruck, and those you will see in some rich shades of purple, varying to pink, also bloom on old and new wood. So what happened last year was there was very little, if no, pruning. So it kind of just really gave them a head start on things because a lot of us forgot to deadhead because there essentially weren't any flowers. So for me, I have to say that I really neglected them, and I think a lot of us did. So there was no pruning last year. So these are all blooming on old and new wood. So it's a double whammy this year. So we actually did them a favor not pruning them at all. So we gave them a little bit of an edge. But you can see they're a little leggy. So this year we're going to have to do some pruning. So stay tuned for some more videos on hydrangeas and pruning. So number 3 is we didn't have any real cold snaps this spring. So last year, I think one of the biggest reasons why they didn't flower is spring started, temperatures started to warm up, the hydrangeas formed their buds, and then we got a cold snap. We were hit with a whammy, and that is really bad for the hydrangeas. They're very sensitive to that. Temperatures drop and it kills off essentially any of the new buds. So this year we had a pretty mild spring, so that didn't happen. And the 4th reason, and it's probably the biggest reason here, and we have little control over this, is the type of winter that we have here in New England. So this past winter, it was a pretty great winter. The temperatures were cold, but pretty consistent. We didn't have a ton of snowfall, but we also had some rain. So we had a perfect amount of precipitation and pretty consistent temperatures this winter. So that was the perfect storm for the hydrangeas this year. But before I get to our little tour and you go and grab your cup of tea or your coffee or your wine, I do want to say something about hydrangeas. Now, if you have a hydrangea in your yard that's not flowering this year and you live in New England, I would say replace it, because it did have the best shot at flowering this year. So a lot of times, you know, especially us hydrangea lovers here, we will put our hydrangeas by our front door or a place that we can really enjoy them, and that's prime real estate for us. So I always tell my clients, if you don't love it, then replace it. So get rid of it, throw it in your compost, just eliminate it and try again. And if you're a hydrangea lover, then go out and get one of the varieties that bloom on old and new wood. So I'm going to give you my little tour today, and I'm going to show you some varieties, and I will also put the name up in case you're interested. Okay, now I'm in the front of my house, and this is east facing sun orientation, and these are the bloom structs out here. Look at this deep, rich, vibrant purple. And you know I'm a purple fan if you've seen my videos, but they're really stunning out here. They are a little bit leggy, but I am just loving the amount of blooms on them this year and the color. So the bloom struck also have a really pretty burgundy stem, which makes them a little more interesting. So I'm also going to show you the bloom struck that I have on the north side of the house because they're a little more pink. And then I want to bring you over to my daughter Hannah's, and I want to show you, I think I might have some video of some buds out there too, because I was so excited. I took some videos of them budding. Okay, and here we are over at the north side of my house with the bloom structs. And you can see in the back there's some pink shades, but they're a little bit lighter over here. Also just as beautiful. So remember, the hydrangeas have a long bloom time too, so this is a pretty spectacular year. They're going to bloom from early June right up through October here in New England.